مرحبا, 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 أهلا وسهلا. This is part 2 of lesson 7. So take out your notebook. And in your book, we are on page 151 on the bottom of the page. So last class, we covered the letters fa and qaf. And qaf is a heavy letter. Okay, this is our heavy K sound or Q sound, or whatever you want to call it. Today we're going to do the light counterpart. And that is the letter kaf. And this is what the letter kaf looks like. It's pronounced kaf, that's its name. And the sound it makes is the k, light K sound, just like English. So this you're going to write is the light or the English K sound. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to compare the two. When we're writing the letter kaf, straight line like an alif, and then a horizontal line out, and then this sort of diagonal shape inside. Okay, so if this was an alif, the kaf is the same length as the alif. Okay, so we're comparing the kaf and the qaf. Okay, kaf like a baby calf. Okay, baby calf or a cat. Okay, and qaf, it's not the same as the C in qaf because it's a heavier sound, but at least the heaviness is there in terms of the vowel, the ah sound. Qa, ka, qa, ka, qa. Okay. So I'm going to say a word and you guys tell me which one, or you tell yourselves which letter you think it is. Okay. If I say bakir, 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 sounds like the English K, so it's going to be the kaf. But if I said baqir, baqir, qir, see how the whole word sounds a little bit heavier? That would be the qaf. How about qareeb, 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 qaf. If I say يتكلم, يتكلم, يتك, kaf. So you're listening for the ah and the ah sound, the same way we've been doing in all our heavy and light letters. Ah versus ah. So what I would suggest is on page 152, you'll see listening exercise 5. Go onto the Smart Sparrow website and click listening exercise 5 and play that recording so that you can hear the difference between the kaf and the qaf. So we're going to move on. Let's do the writing. Now, kaf has a little trick in it. I'm going to write it a little bit bigger. See how there's this diagonal shape that's inside? Why is that there? Some people say it's just aesthetic. But this shape that's inside is actually a clue for you as to how to write the kaf in initial position, because kaf is a little bit funky and doesn't look like itself in this shape in initial position or in medial position. So when you're writing kaf in initial position, there's two ways you can do it. You can write a diagonal line just like that. Okay. Or you could do a straight line connected and then bring the diagonal right over it. Okay. And just for reference, this would be an alif, so it's the same length as the alif. It's taking up the whole notebook line. So if I was to write ka, it would look like this. If I want to write it in the other way, it would look like this. Ka, ku, ki. Okay. So notice here, you've got the kaf is above the line and the ya is below the line. So don't let yourself get confused with all these squiggly lines. So let's write a word with kaf in initial position. Kabir. Ka-bi-r. Kabir. We're going to start with the letter kaf. It's got a fatha. Letter ba. Kabir. Ya ra. Kabir means big. It can also mean old or older. And because it's an adjective similar to all the other adjectives that we've done gharib and saghir. Saghir was small. Now you have the opposite. All your adjectives, you can make them feminine, right? And it just depends on what you're describing. So if I want to say a big house, بيت كبير. بيت كبير, a big house. Okay. But if I want to describe something that is feminine, let's say I want to say a big tree. What's the word for tree? Shajara is a feminine word. So what are we going to do to the adjective? We're going to add to it التاء مربوطة كبيرة. Okay. بيت كبير, شجرة كبيرة. You can also create a sentence with this. So we can say بيتي, my house. And if I don't say is big, well, there's no word for is, so we just put كبير right after it. بيتي كبير. Okay. So now you have كبير, big, and صغير, small. And it's the same thing. Kabir can also be used for old or older, and صغير can also be used for young or younger. Okay, let's do سكر. 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 Now, when we do medial position, probably need to teach you medial position before you write it. So medial position, what we do is we have a connecting line, bring it up, and then diagonally. Or you can have your connecting line and do that same diagonal shape. So when we do sukkar, we're going to go like this. You can write it like this. It's got a shadda because kaf is being pronounced twice. Or you could write it like that. Sukkar. The shadda and the fatha on top of the kaf. Sukkar meaning sugar. Sukkar. تريد سكر. تريد سكر في الشاي. الشاي. You guys remember what shai was? Tea. If I say تريد, تريد, you want. تريد سكر في شاي. في شاي. So تريد, you want. سكر. أحب السكر في الشاي. أحب السكر في شاي. So I like sugar in tea. Okay. In final position. So now let's revisit. We've got initial. We've got medial. Final position takes its original form. Okay. So you're going to connect it. And then you're going to do that horizontal line and then that diagonal shape in the middle. So we're going to flip the page. We're now on page 154. We're going to write حضرتك. 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 ح ضاد حض را. If I say حضرتك with a fatha, if I say حضرتك, it would be with a kasra. And حضرتك or حضرتك is like saying, excuse me, sir or miss. You're asking for someone's attention. And what's important to note about this is that this kaf at the end has a special meaning. You're going to write down for yourself. When we added ya to the end of a noun, what did it do? Good. Made that word mine. Bayti, my house. Sayyarati, my car. Right? Abi, my dad. When you add a kaf to the end, it makes it yours. Okay? So, we're going to do some examples. Here's the word bait. If I want to make it my house, we add a ya to the end. Bayti. Right here, it's mine. If I want to say your house, I take the word bait and I add a kaf to the end. Now it's your house. Now what's special here that we have to know is there's a couple different ways of pronouncing this. In formal, in standard, we pronounce the ta with a dhamma and we put a fatha on top of the kaf here. Baytuka. Baytuka. And this is masculine. If you're talking to someone and you're saying your house and the person you're talking to is male, we're going to say baytuka. And if the person you're talking to is female, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to put kasra. So we'll put your, and now it's feminine. So it doesn't mean the house is female. It means the person whose house it is, they're female. So if I'm talking to my sister and I say baytuki, your house. Where are we going? Baytuki. Baytuki, your house. I'm going to put a kasra here because I'm talking about my sister's house. My sister is female. Okay. Now, this can be a tongue twister, baytuka and baytuki, with all these harakat on all the letters. So what ends up happening in dialect, and now also informal people end up using this even though it's not formal, is instead of pronouncing this dhamma and fatha, we end up taking that fatha that was on the kaf here and just moving it to the ta. Baytak. And baytak would be your house if you're talking to a male. And so what would the feminine form be if I'm talking to a woman? Baytak. 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 Okay. Okay, you are going to do the same exact thing. And this time we're going to pick a different word. So any word that you want to use. I'm going to pick a word here. A word that we just did in the last lesson. Saf. And you're going to write my class, your class, and your class if you're talking to a woman. Pause the video and then write your answers. Okay, my class, saf, and add a ya. Safi. Your class, safak. If you want to be super formal, it'd be safuka. And your class, if you're talking to a woman, safik. Or if you want to be super formal, safuki. Okay. You're going to do the same thing with any other word. Let's pick a feminine word. Ghurfa, meaning room. If I want to say my room, we take the word ghurfa and we open the ta up, right? Ghurfati. We do the same thing if we want to make it yours. We're going to open the ta up. And this time we're going to add kaf. Ghurfatak. And if the person whose room you're talking to is female, غرفتك. So these right here are what we call possessive pronouns. Okay. So you're going to write a sentence. You're going to do, your room is big. Pause it, write your answer. So when you're writing it, غرفتك, I left it ambiguous. So you had the option of غرفتك, or if you put a kasra here, both are fine. غرفتك, غرفتك. غرفة had a ta مربوطة in it. So if I want to say big, I'm going to do the word كبير, but I have to add a ta مربوطة to the end. غرفتك كبيرة. So your room is big. Okay. So at this point, what you are going to do is you are going to pause. You are going to practice writing some sentences using any of these new words, these adjectives, the preposition fee. We now have possessive pronouns, using something as mine and yours. So using those, practice writing some sentences and say them as you're writing them. Okay. You're also going to go to the Smart Sparrow website and do drill 4. Okay. Drill 4 is comparing between qaf and kaf. And then you are also going to read drill 5. So drill 5, you'll find it on the Smart Sparrow website as well. If you want to look at it in your book, it's on page 154. So you're going to practice reading those, okay? And then click the audio, and you're going to check and see if you said the words correctly. Really paying attention to the difference between ka and qa. So the light and the heaviness of these K sounds. Okay? And then your written assignment will be drill 7, which you'll submit on Moodle. And of course, you can write it on a piece of paper and take a picture of it. Or if you have a smartphone, you can use an app like Genius Scan or any of the screenshot apps that you have, like Doc Scanner, I think is another one. And you're simply going to upload it to Moodle.